Hello aspirants, so we are starting with East Asia now. This will be the final lecture in our world map series for prelims 2026. First of all, we look at East Asia. Now, what do we have in East Asia? We just have the countries of China, Mongolia, North and South Korea, Japan and Taiwan. That's it for East Asia, but still this is a geographic hotspot and especially for UPSC, they love to ask questions from here. First, we are studying the Tibetan Plateau. So, Tibetan Plateau is the source region of major Asian rivers: Yangtze River, Yellow River, Mekong, Salween, Brahmaputra, and second is the Kunlun Shan. You will be learning better about Kunlun Shan from the next slide. Here it is. So, you can see Kunlun Shan forms a southern boundary of the Tarim Basin and the Taklamakan Desert. On top of the Kunlun Shan is the Tian Shan. Now, China, because of its geography, has a lot of hill ranges, and that piece of land over the geologic history has gone through a lot of subductions and a lot of fold mountains forming, and many things have happened in the past. So there are a lot of features here for us to study. Now, Taklamakan Desert is in the Tarim Basin and it is surrounded by Tian Shan and the Kunlun Shan in the south. Below the Kunlun Shan is, here is the Pamir Knot, and below it over here is somewhere the Himalayas, mostly over here. So, if you remember the Central Asian lecture, we had studied about the Tian Shan, seems like coming out of the Pamir. The Alai Mountains are here and the Tian Shan are here. So, that's what it is, an extension, and this also forms the boundary between China and Central Asian countries of Kazakhstan. Now, Tarim Basin over here. Now, recently I had mentioned that Tarim Basin is and Taklamakan Desert are between Tian Shan and Kunlun Shan. What is a basin? If it is the same as a desert, then what is a basin? A basin is actually a piece of land that is surrounded by highlands from all sides. It might be a desert, it might not be a desert, we don't know. But a piece of land surrounded by high mountains from all sides and a huge region is called a basin, not a valley, a basin. Similarly, we have the Zungarian Basin. So, Tarim Basin was here, Tian Shan and Kunlun Shan would be here. Zungarian Basin is here, this is surrounded by Altai Mountains. Tian Shan extends over here and forms the Zungarian Basin over the north. Many books spell it as Jungarin, starting from a J, but even this more local language works. Third important basin is the Sichuan Basin, right here. Okay, that's way east. In fact, our Nagaland is here. That is way east. You just have to remember there is 3 basins. The third one is called the Sichuan Basin. 2 important deserts of China are Taklamakan and the Gobi Desert. As mentioned, Taklamakan Desert is a hot desert in between the Tarim Basin. Why is Taklamakan Desert a hot desert, but Gobi Desert, lying almost on the same latitudinal length, is a cold desert? Main reason is the mountains surrounding Taklamakan Desert stop the Siberian winds from entering this region. But Gobi Desert does not have that protection, hence it is exposed. Second is the elevation. Taklamakan is much below. Gobi Desert is more like a plateau. So it gets extremely cold, and also it faces the fierce Siberian winds, while Taklamakan remains a hot desert. Now, a third most important part is the Loess Plateau. This is a plateau that is formed by wind-blown fine silt element. It is yellow in color, very porous piece of land, and drained mainly by the Yellow River. Not much to study about the Loess Plateau. And now, Tibetan Plateau, we will study again, is the world's highest plateau. Of course, it controls a huge portion of rivers flowing outside from the Tibetan Plateau, and that is also because Tibetan Plateau is regarded as the third pole. One pole is the Arctic, another pole is Antarctic. If it is asked what is the third pole, it is the Tibetan Plateau. Many such rivers are passing from the Tibetan Plateau. It is important for you to go through them. Yangtze, Yellow River, the Huanghu. Huanghu is also the sorrow of China. Our Brahmaputra River and Indus River. Then the three rivers of Southeast Asia, which we had covered, Mekong, Salween, and Irrawaddy, all start from the Tibetan Plateau. That's why it is called the third pole, the water tower of the earth. Three important rivers of China: Yangtze, longest river of Asia. This one, the rice bowl of China, extremely fertile because of Yangtze. In fact, this is also the river where the Three Gorges Dam is present, and it goes into the East China Sea. East China Sea is over here. Second is the Yellow River, Huangho. It goes through a loop, and because of the heavy amount of silt that is carried by Huangho, it always shifts its course. Thus, it is also called as the sorrow of China. Like we have the river Kosi, sorrow of Bihar. Similarly, we have China has the Yellow River or the Huangho River. It flows into the Gulf of Bohai. This is the Gulf of Bohai over here. It is a part of the Yellow Sea. Yellow River flowing into Yellow Sea. Pretty easy. Finally, we have the Pearl River of South China. The city of Hong Kong is somewhere in its coast. That's all it's important for. Pearl River, Hong Kong port. And Hong Kong can come up in the news anytime soon. That's why it's important to learn that. Seas. So seas of East Asia is very much logical and extremely easy to remember as well. We start from the north. We have the Sea of Okhotsk. This becomes important because of Kamchatka Peninsula. Why is Kamchatka Peninsula important? Because Kamchatka faced a very severe snowstorm, and it has been in the news since a long time now because of the snowstorm. So Kamchatka has come in the news. Everything that comes in the news becomes important for UPSC. Sea of Okhotsk is there. Then coming down, we get Sea of Japan. Further down, we get the Yellow Sea. Part of the Yellow Sea is Gulf of Bohai, where the Yellow River flows into. Then we have the Yangtze right here in the East China Sea. Finally, we have the South China Sea. So here, South China Sea, East China Sea, Yellow Sea, Sea of Japan, Sea of Okhotsk, and that covers your seas of East Asia. Now, let us focus on the Japanese islands, starting from Sakhalin Island, a part of Russia. Up in the north is Sakhalin Island. Below that is the Le Strait. Somewhere here, this is the Le Strait. Then comes Hokkaido Island, a very beautiful island, Hokkaido. The spring blossom photos, if you have seen of Japan, it is mostly from Hokkaido Island. Below that comes the Honshu Island, the main island of Japan. A lot of industrial hub, the cities of Tokyo and Yamaha, everything is present in this island, the island of Honshu. Now, Hokkaido and Honshu are divided by the Tsugaru Strait. Below Honshu comes the Naruto Strait of Honshu and Shikoku. This is Shikoku, and somewhere here must be your Naruto Strait. And Honshu and Kyushu also are between the Kanmon Strait over here. Both Japan and Korea are separated by the Korea Strait. Between Shikoku and Kyushu is the Bungo Channel. Here, the Bungo Channel. And then below that is the Ryukyu Islands. It's much below. It cannot come here, so they have fixed it right here. So you need to remember the order of islands, north to south, and then with one by one you enter the straits, starting from the Le Perouse Strait and ending with the Bongo Channel. So there are three disputed regions, main disputed regions. I mean, there is dispute between South Korea and Japan over some islands as well. There is a dispute between Russia and Japan over some islands as well. But the main dispute is lying with China. First is the Senkaku and Diaoyu Islands. That is over here. In the right below, close to Taiwan and Taipei. Japan calls it as Senkaku. China calls it as Diaoyu Islands, and the Republic of China, that is Taiwan, calls it the Diaoyu Islands. Now remember, People's Republic of China and the Republic of China. The difference between them is the Republic of China, that is Taiwan, first before 1949 controlled entire China. Then the revolution happened in China and they were pushed out, and today they control only Taiwan, which they call the Republic of China. Whenever communist governments are formed throughout the world, they always name themselves as People's Republic. So that's how you separate it. Like we have the People's Republic of China and Republic of China. People's Republic of China is communistic, Republic of China is capitalistic or not communist. Oh yeah. Next, disputed islands are the Paracel and Spratly Islands. Now, Paracel Islands is between China and Vietnam, while Spratly Islands are between China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, I don't think Indonesia, no. Brunei, Philippines, and even Taiwan. Now, question comes, what does Taiwan have to do with Spratly Islands? Like I said, pre-1949, Taiwan had created the 11 dash line, and I mean the government of Taiwan had created the 11 dash line and considered these islands to be a part of the then China. When government changed in 1949, the People's Republic of China continued, reduced it to 9 dash line but continued the claim. Taiwan, again, being a part of the previous China, they also continued their claim of these islands. Last is the Scorbolo Shoal, that is between China and Philippines. Korea. North and South Korea is divided by the 38th parallel. US and Canada divided by the 49th parallel. Earlier, North and South Vietnam were divided by the 18th parallel. You need to remember just these three. Some political geographic facts. China shares border with 14 countries. Japan, yes, has no land borders at all. Remember this fact. If a question comes that Japan has no land borders, that statement is true. Japan really does not have any land borders. South Korea has only one land neighbor, North Korea, and Mongolia is landlocked country between two great powers, China and Russia. So these are only political geographic facts you need to just know of East Asia. That, guys, brings us to an end of world geography maps, and thank you for joining in this lecture. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll be more than happy to speak to very serious aspirants. Thank you and good luck for prelims 2026.